The Resonance app is a New Zealand made homegrown app which really allows us to connect with people in our local communities and start using them and trading with them. It's really important that we start bringing our trading to a local level. We don't know how long we're going to be able to use these big corporate sites, or how long we're going to be able to use cash for that matter. So it's really vitally important for resilience purposes that we get to know people in our local networks.
As you can see, I'm at a Dutch farm at the moment. There are a lot of problems with farmers in the Netherlands. The government say that we have a nitrogen problem. But is that true?
There's so many of us in New Zealand that have had a struggle with the last couple of years and some of the decisions that have been made around who can and who can't. And so we wanted a place that is open for everybody and enabling us to make those independent connections with each other so that we've got a vehicle with which to face the future. I think it's important to say that there are actually no trades per se that happen within the Resonance app. It really is a platform that shows phone numbers and email addresses of each of the listers. So all the users can just find whoever they want and connect directly with them. So there is no middleman involved.
We think that they want our land because the farmers are bought out. The government spends a lot of money for that, to buy out these farmers.
There is a shop in the Resonance app as well. So, people are doing things these days like, growing plants and selling them, making bread and selling. We've got fruit and vegetable, meat, all kinds of other produce. And we've also got a button called Fresh Now, which enables us to share produce from the garden or from fruit trees we might have, things that we might have just for a short period of time. So it's open to anybody. Cottage industry is having a resurgence. So the Resonance app shop is a perfect place for people to put listings around, what they might be doing to supplement their income.
This is the Global Walkout. One step at a time, hand in hand, we are walking out from the globalist society they are trying to enslave us into.
Today is the 11th of September 2022, the second step of the Global Walkout. My name is Farmer Piet. I'm a Dutch farmer and I'm walking out with you. The second step of the Global Walkout is to locate and support family-run grocery stores and markets as much as possible.
On the Resonance app, we have a bulletin feature, and that is just like a list of articles that are continually updating. Those articles are absolutely inspiring and they're what we're all about really. So those articles are about everything, eyes off the old and onto the new. Things about holism and health, parallel economy, new thinking. There's some scholarly articles there on how we're going to get through this period in history. There's lots of podcasts in there as well, things like the People's Health Alliance, new initiatives that are springing up all over the world at the moment because we're all in this together and many of us are future thinking people, and so you'll find all that sort of content, uplifting, inspiring content in the bulletin on the Resonance app. And like everything else on the app, we really encourage you to contribute to that. There's a button on the website and on the app itself saying submit your bulletin article, and you can then put any piece of content you want up into the Resonance app. Again, in this alternative platform. So it's not Facebook, it's not Telegram or Signal or any of those other ones. It's something completely unique to New Zealand, very local focus.
Try to purchase locally grown products to support the farming and market communities in your area. If you live in the city, research what fresh products is grown in your region.
We've got common law on the Resonance app for people wanting to know more about that, and we've also got standard legal help. We want to make sure people, have the resources they need. We've also got a list of cafes, so non-discrimination cafes and restaurants. So there's a button here, accommodation, that says stay with me on here. You can put your your room in your house on here, or you might have a self-contained sleep out you want to rent out to somebody. So it's just thinking, about how we can get more resilient, and as we're travelling around the country, how we might want to stay with people who are on the same page. We've got available land. Quite a few people in New Zealand have purchased land and are looking for people to live with, actually. So we've also got people in here looking for, in that same section, land and living. Also in land and living, we have everything about farming and gardening, eco-building, and animals as well. So that's a whole sort of section on its own.
On the Global Walkout website, you'll find a printout explaining why supporting locally grocery stores and farmers and markets is so important. You can print them out and use them as a conversation starter with your cashier, family, friends, colleagues.
Resonance app is now downloadable from both the App Store or the Google Play Store. So just search up Resonance and look for the Love Heart logo. Just download it. You'll have to enable locations for Resonance to work properly when you download it. You can then turn off locations if that's important to you once you have it on your phone. But in order to see your local community's content, obviously you will need to have your locations switched on. So yeah, just download it now. The most important thing, as I mentioned before, is that we have listings in here, and we want people to come forward and make contact with us to discuss any way they'd like to use the app. If they need a functionality that they don't see in there at the moment, or they'd like to connect us with a broader network, please get in touch, because we are just 3 individual volunteers doing this, and we need all the contacts and networking that we can get. So also, if you're a volunteer and you want to help us with some data entry or some networking, we are very, very keen to hear from you. And just one other thing, when you're putting in your own listing, some people find it easier to work on a desktop computer rather than on a phone app. So in that case, you can also enter your listing on www.resonance.kiwi. It's an independent digital platform made by myself and my 2 co-founders. So we're really all about that grassroots movement. We're all about non-discrimination, and we're really about building that network that is going to allow us to sail into a sort of pretty uncertain future, really, but in a more a resilient way, So it's about forming those connections, really.
Step 1 was to use cash as much as you can. We hope you continue to do that, along with this new step. Stay tuned for step number 3 in exactly 1 week's time.
People that are using Resonance are coming, by and large, from the part of the population that is aware what's going on, aware that we're in a time of great transition. And it's sort of been born really out of the freedom movement, you could say. And so you can understand by default that most people in there are what we call in resonance, on the same page, even though there's a wide variety of opinions and beliefs within that. What we have in common is the fact that we are all looking towards the future. We're looking for solutions, and we also have a knowledge and an understanding that things are going to change quite dramatically. And so, yeah, you're not dealing with generally sleeping people who are just following the normal narrative. You're in resonance, you're meeting people, like-minded Kiwis, to inspire each other, to encourage each other, and to enable each other to trade with each other. So that's why people should use it, because it's the tribe.
Do we realize enough that we need the Dutch farmers to produce our food? The farmers are in distress at the moment in the Netherlands. But I think that's not only their battle. Do we realize that it's our battle? The farmers are fighting for their company at the moment, but we should fight with them. It's our battle too. It's our food, our land, and our farmers.
p.m. London time, a new step will be announced. United, we will empower ourselves and each other to become more independent, self-sustainable, and in control of our own destinies. Together, we will reignite freedom. Join the Global Walkout family at www.globalwalkout.com, and we will see you next Sunday.